Today it's all about planting bulbs, and I'm begging you to plant bulbs because people are not doing it as much as they used to. It's not instant gratification, but these bulbs that you put in now will give you so much excitement and joy early in the spring. We're going to be planting crocuses, snow crocuses, daffodils, tulips, and a variety that's pretty perennial. Number one thing, what tool will you use? I love the bulb auger. I've been using them for 30 years. It makes bulb planting easy and fun, even in the rain. Come on, let's plant. So we're planting lots of different types of bulbs today, but for crocuses and tulips, I've got a great trick I learned from Brent Heath from Brent and Becky's Bulbs to use an animal repellent, and I, of course, love my Bob-X, to soak the bulbs in. So I've got some snow crocus here, and I'm going to just put those in here. Soak them around in that Bob-X, and this will keep the rodents off them. We'll do the same with the other bulbs, and then we'll get them in the ground. So we're starting with our crocus. I have a snow crocus in here called Tricolor, and then a large flowering crocus, which will bloom a little bit later, which is called Remembrance. And for the last several years, I've been adding crocus to this bed. Every time they're blooming, I come out, I take a picture, and so I can reference it now to see where I need more. And snow crocus, there's nothing like them. They will come up after just 3 days of sunshine. They're an expected surprise. You know they're there, but then when they come up, and then they could be covered in snow. And so we'll start with the little snow crocus first. Bulbs are planted 3 times as deep as the bulb itself. So in this case of a crocus, it's not very deep at all. And with the bulb auger, you could plant 100 of these in probably 10 minutes. So let's get them in the ground. And the snow crocus can go really close together. I'm putting them right in front of these epimediums that we planted last week. And the little ones are the snow crocus, root side down. And no rodents are going to be interested because they're soaked in the Bob-X. Thank you, Brent. So let's talk tulips. First thing, many times they're going to be planted as annuals. They're not going to come back year after year. This is a variety. Darwin is the type, but it's called Red Impression. Darwins are very perennial. We need to put them in a spot where they're going to dry out during the summer. That's true of most bulbs. So if we were to put these in, and then the foliage starts to look bad after they're done blooming, and we put impatiens over them to cover the foliage, every time we're watering those impatiens, we're drowning the bulbs underneath. The other thing about tulips, this is deer candy. Only one place on the landscape here in the garden that we can plant these, and that is in the vegetable garden where it's fenced in and the deer can't get to them. I must have my tulips, and this is the only place they'll be safe. And they'll dry out good here. They're right on the edge of a bed. While we're in the vegetable garden, I wanted to show you shallots. They're from the onion family and are perennial. So you plant them now and they'll come back year after year. You just don't harvest all of them. And it's very easy. I've got some compost here. We're just going to push them down into the compost and they'll actually sprout. And this one I'm going to split. They'll actually sprout soon and they just kind of sit here and they'll be good for the kitchen. All right, a couple more. I'm going to put a little bit of mulch on top. And then my absolute favorite, daffodils are going in next. This will act as a nice blanket for the bulbs over the winter. If they do sprout, I'll eat what comes up, a little bit of it anyway. Daffodils, here we come. So our final planting today is daffodils and hyacinths. They don't need to be soaked. The rodents won't go after them. There are lots of different types of daffodils, not just yellow trumpets, and I love doubles. This is a double called Wave, and I've got tons and tons of doubles in here. Where my grandparents are buried, there's a thing called Daffodil Hill. It's called Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland, and when I was a kid, I saw those daffodils, and now I'm creating my own Daffodil Hill in memory of my grandparents here. I'm buying bulbs this time of the year. I've actually got some coming from an online order, but I'll also continue to add bulbs as they get discounted. You can plant bulbs all the way up until the ground freezes, and when we get to about Thanksgiving, they go half price. If you keep going back to the nursery every couple weeks, eventually they're just going to say, here, just take them or give them to you really cheap. All right, I'm going to put these in the ground, then we're going to finish up. There are lots of different hardy bulbs. Take a look through catalogs, take a look at nurseries and see all this unique stuff that you can be putting in. When we're putting in a hardy bulb, just going in one time and hopefully comes back year after year. And a couple years ago, I had a happy accident in the garden. I planted these two bulbs together. I didn't know they were going to bloom at the same time. It's Glory of Snow called Violet Queen, with another one called Puschkinia is the type of bulb. And when those two are blooming together, they're deer resistant. They form a nice colony, and check out how beautiful they are. All right, be sure to check me out online. Lots of good stuff there. Join my Seed of the Month Club. Until next week. Hey, I'm already wet. Let's keep planting. We'll see you then.